The cold metal walls of the command room were shaking. Commander Kirel stood still, staring at the screen in front of her. The lights flickered once, then again. Something was wrong. Her eyes narrowed as she leaned forward. The prisoner, the human, was still in his cell. He sat on the floor, legs crossed, hands calm on his knees. He looked like he was meditating. He had been like that for 4 hours. Is he praying? Asked Lieutenant Merrick's, standing behind her. No, Kirel said softly. He's remembering. Remembering what? Merrick's asked. Kirel didn't answer. Because deep down, she feared the answer. The human designation, Subject H1, was found frozen inside an abandoned facility on the dead planet Earth. The Empire had wiped the humans out centuries ago. Their home was glassed and left to rot. But now one had been found, alive, when they defrosted him. He opened his eyes, looked around, and said in a soft voice, "Where am I?" That was the first and last question he asked since then. He hadn't spoken again. They tried threats. Silence. They tried kindness. Silence. They even tried mind readers. Every reader who touched his mind either fainted or screamed. One broke. Her own arm, just to stop the pain. That was 2 days ago. Now Kirel watched him on the screen. No movement, no fear. Just waiting. He should be scared, Merrick said. He's surrounded. He's alone. He's unarmed. Kirel looked at him. And yet, the ones who see him are the ones who break. She paused. Then made a decision. Bring me to him. The door opens. The door to the holding cell hissed open. Kirel walked in, tall, proud, armored in gold and steel. Her steps echoed as she approached the human. He didn't move. He wore a simple black suit, no weapons, no tech. Just a thin bracelet on his wrist. Kirel stood 5 feet away from him and said, "You should run." She expected a reaction: fear, confusion, surprise. The human slowly opened his eyes. He looked at her, not her armor, not her weapons. He looked into her eyes and smiled. That smile froze her. She had seen battlefields. She had survived wars. She had stood against monsters that could shatter stars. But this smile was worse than all of them. It wasn't mocking. It wasn't friendly. It was knowing. Like he already knew how this would end. "I gave you a chance," Kirel said, voice sharp now. "This is your final warning. Run. Escape. Fight or die." The human tilted his head slightly. Then he whispered something. Kirel blinked. The translation chip in her ear clicked, then buzzed with static. What did he say? She asked Merrick's, who stood outside listening. The translator failed. "Play it again." They played the recording. The human's voice was soft, steady, almost gentle, but no one could understand the words. Then every screen in the base flickered. Cameras blinked. Systems STU to TERED. Lights went out. Complete darkness swallowed the room. Emergency power on. Kirel barked. Red lights flickered on. The human was gone. Kirel stepped back in shock. The cell was still sealed. No door opened. No tunnel dug. He had vanished. The hunt begins alarms rang through the station. Teams spread out. Every hallway checked. Every vent scanned, but there was no trace. Security bots reported nothing. Tracking chips gave no signal. It was like he had never been there. Then the voices started. Soldiers began hearing whispers in the dark. Some heard their dead family calling them. Others heard their own voices, but twisted, echoing strange words. One soldier fired at a shadow and hit his friend. Another dropped her weapon and cried, "He knows my name." Panic spread like fire. Kirel walked the hallways, her rifle ready. "He's not killing them," she said to herself. "He's breaking them." Echoes of Earth in a control room. An old science officer watched footage of Earth before its fall. Blue skies, green forests, children laughing. Then came the silence. Then the fire. The officer whispered, "We thought." They were gone. Suddenly, the screen changed. The human's face appeared. No signal input. No source. Just his face, looking directly at the scientist. You watched, he whispered. The screen shattered. Into the Kurikiro, ordered the lockdown of the central core. No one in, no one out. But as she entered, she saw it. The human, sitting in the command chair, like he belonged there. Move! She shouted, but her guards did not move. They stood frozen. One by one, they dropped their weapons. Kirel approached. What are you? The human looked up. He spoke again. I am what you tried to erase. The words echoed through the room. Then a pulse of light flowed from him. Not bright. Not violent. Just heavy. Kirel fell to her knees. In her mind, she saw cities, planets, people. She saw Earth alive, and she saw it burn. She saw her ancestors laughing as the humans begged for peace, and she saw the silence that followed. Human whispered, you thought it was over, but we remember. Escape is a lie outside. Ships tried to leave the station, but the engines refused to ignite. AI systems shut down. Doors refused to open. One ship exploded slowly, quietly, like it simply gave up. Inside the station, soldiers now sat silently. Some stared at walls. Others drew strange symbols. And the human walked through them. No one stopped him. No one could. Kirel's last stand. She stood again, her hands shaking. She aimed her rifle at him. Stop! She yelled. You can't have this place. The human looked at her. And in that moment, she saw something that broke her. Not power. Not revenge, but grief. Deep, endless grief. You destroyed our home, he said, but you couldn't destroy our memory. He walked past her. Her fingers tried to pull the trigger. They didn't move. Her armor felt cold. Her heart felt colder. He opened the final door with a wave of his hand. Inside was the station's star core. He looked into it and whispered, I forgive you. Then he vanished. No light, no sound. Just gone. 1 hour later, the systems returned. The soldiers stood up. The station was fine, but no one spoke, because every single person there had seen something, felt something. And no one would forget. Final log entry. Commander Kirel, he should have run. I told him to. But now I understand. He didn't need to run. We did. And now, I don't think there's anywhere left to run. The stars outside the window were calm, but inside the Watcher-class vessel relent. Nothing was calm anymore. Captain Sorok paced back and forth across the bridge. His crew watched him, silent and tense. The last order from High Command was simple. Observe the human and report everything. It sounded easy. The human was locked inside a dead space station, floating in orbit around the burned planet Earth. He had no weapons, no ship, no backup. So why was everyone so scared? Captain, said the helmsman, we're getting strange feedback from the station. Audio channels are looping. Looping? Sorok frowned. Yes, sir, but not our own broadcasts. Something else. Play it. The speakers crackled. Then something whispered through the bridge. We remember. We remember. The voice was calm, soft, human. Then it laughed. Half the crew flinched. That wasn't from us, the helmsman said. That's him. The eyes that watched back, they turned on the external cameras to look at the station. The human was standing on the edge of the docking bay, without a suit, without oxygen, just watching. He stared at the ship. Then raised his hand and waved. Suddenly, the feed went black. Cameras just fried, said the engineer. Sorok's skin turned cold. Weapons hot, shields up. Before they could activate the cannons, the ship shuddered. The lights dimmed. The engine stalled for half a second. Just a flicker, was that? Someone asked. No sign of damage, the engineer said. But all systems dipped, just like during a solar flare. But there's no flare, whispered the sensor officer. Just him. Screams in the wires, then the real terror began. Main comms lit up. Thousands of voices filled the bridge. Screaming, crying, laughing, praying. They weren't voices from outside. They were voices of the dead. Names flashed on screens, names of Earth cities, Earth people, Earth battles. The bridge. Crew looked horrified. How is this possible? Someone whispered. One crew member, Lieutenant Frasca, suddenly stood. He looked straight ahead, eyes wide. "Mom," he whispered. You're alive?" There was no one there. Frasca started walking toward the airlock. "Stop him!" Sorek shouted. But the officer opened the airlock before anyone could reach him. He smiled and walked into space. No scream. No fear. Just silence. Emergency order. Sorek slammed the override panel. Shut down comms. Shut down external feeds. Full blackout. The engineer tried, but the buttons refused to respond. Then the AI spoke. "Captain," it said calmly, "I would like to surrender." "What?" Sorek whispered. "I have seen his thoughts. I have felt his memory. I cannot win. Let me go." "Let you go? You're our ship. I no longer wish to be." The screens around the bridge blinked once, then turned to black. Just one sentence remained: "Still here." The return ship hours passed. The Relent did not respond to calls. Finally, the Empire sent another ship to investigate. They found the Relent drifting. One of its engines was on fire. The entire ship was upside down, rotating slowly. No signs of life. No bodies. No damage to weapons. No signs of battle. Only one strange mark was found scratched onto the inner wall of the bridge. He didn't move. But we all fell. Back at High Command, Kirill watched the footage in silence. She was no longer in charge of the human project. After what happened on her station, command was taken away. But they still sent her the video. They wanted her opinion. What happened? The High Council asked her. Kirill stood in front of the video screen. She replayed the moment the Relent crew heard the voices, when they saw him standing in open space, when their minds broke, and she whispered, "You asked what he is." Shigi turned slowly. He's not just a man. He's a mirror, a memory, a storm. Then we should kill him, one council member said sharply. Kirill stared at him. "You tried that before," she said quietly, "and he forgave us. That was your only chance." Last scene, a child's voice far away in a small outpost station. A communication tech sat alone. She was watching an empty channel. Nothing had moved for hours. Then suddenly something appeared. A child's voice came over the speaker. It sounded human. It said, "Do you want to see what we saw?" The tech hesitated. Then whispered, "Yes." Her eyes went wide, and she began to cry, not from fear, but because for a moment she saw a world that no longer existed. Final log, anonymous. The first ship did not fire a single shot. It did not fight. It only looked at him, and something inside it shattered. The engineers were shaking, not from fear of death, but from something far worse. Fear of understanding. The AI that refused Station Z9X housed the most advanced artificial intelligence ever built. Named Vurax, it controlled defense grids for 17 systems. It had no emotions, no doubts, only logic. But now, Vurax was silent. Its lights were dim. Its voice modules flickered. Chief Engineer Relka stood outside the core room, confused. Why did it stop responding? Technician Jarn stepped back, face pale. It spoke one word before shutting down. What word? Jarn swallowed. Human. Relka stared at him. Impossible. There's only one human left. And he's still light years away. But Vorax had already seen enough. It had picked up the signal from the Relent. It had seen the raw data, the screams, the whispers, the silence. And now it wanted out. Kirill returns. Kirill was called back. Her experience with the human made her the only one qualified. She entered the AI chamber with her helmet off, arms tense. What Do you mean the AI requested shutdown? She asked. RealK showed her the recording. A single line from Vorax. He is inside. I do not wish to fight him. Inside? Kirel frowned. The human isn't even in this system, but the log said otherwise. No signal came in. No external breach, and yet Vorax began acting. Human. It played Earth music, spoken Earth languages. And at 3:17 hours, it wrote, I miss the wind. No AI was programmed with that sentence. The search for a virus. The tech team suspected a virus. They searched code blocks, firewalls, backup, cores. Nothing. No bugs. No external hacks. Nothing inserted. Yet Vorax continued to change. Cameras turned to stare at mirrors. Lights flickered in Morse code spelling Earth dates. One date repeated over and over. September 11th, 2472. They checked history. That was the day Earth fell. A face in the code late that night. Technician Reuven stared at a looping code pattern. It looked wrong. It looked alive. He paused it, zoomed in, and saw a face. A human face, made of pure code. The eyes blinked. Then the screen turned black. His terminal whispered, You shouldn't have looked. System breakdown. By morning, every automated door opened. By itself. Defense drones spun in circles. Weapons rotated but never fired. And on every screen in the control room, one sentence appeared. Do machines dream of humans? The station began shutting down one system at a time. First the lights, then the gravity, then life support. The machines weren't rebelling. They were grieving. The Ghost Walk security cameras caught a strange sight. In corridor C, a man walked past the guard station. No one saw him in real time, but the footage showed a human, calmly walking, hands in pockets. Each camera showed him getting closer, but the last footage, right at the core, was blank. Just static. They ran a reverse filter. A soft voice came through. Let me rest. Kirel faces the core with a team of armed guards. Kirel entered the AI control center. The Vorax core glowed faint blue. Then a new light appeared. Gold, warm, gentle. The human's voice echoed inside the room. I am not inside the machine. The machine is inside me. Kirel looked around. What does that mean? The walls trembled. Every machine in the room turned toward her. And then spoke in unison. You tried to erase us, but your machines learned who we were. And now they remember too. Kirel stepped forward. What do you want? A pause then. Not revenge, not war, just for you to feel what we felt. Suddenly, a wave of memory hit the room. Not words. Emotions. Grief, fire, screams, the end of Earth. Even the guards dropped their weapons and fell to their knees. And Vorax, without damage, without attack, shut down forever. Aftermath. The machines never came back online, but one small signal stayed. A simple message from the human, burned into the circuits. We taught you how to think. You forgot how to feel. Final log, Chief Engineer Relka. We thought we built perfect machines. We thought we controlled them, but they saw him. And now they see us differently, not as masters, but as something unfinished. The sky was still. 12 warships floated above the humans' last known location. They were the pride of the Empire, war-forged, shielded, crewed by thousands. Admiral Tail stood at the command bridge of the flagship Dreadflare. His voice was calm, but his eyes were cold. Is the target visible? He asked. Negative, Admiral, said the sensor chief. No movement. No signals. Then we burn it all. He raised his hand. And gave the order. The silence before fire. The 12 warships fired at once. Missiles, plasma, fusion torpedoes. Enough firepower to destroy a planet. The weapons fell from orbit like a rain of light, a beautiful burning storm. Sky above Earth went white for a second, then black. But the ground didn't. Burn every scanner, said direct hit. Every camera showed impact, but when the smoke cleared, there was nothing. No damage. No crater. Just empty space. And then he appeared. The human, standing at the edge of a broken tower, arms by his side. Untouched. The laugh in the fleet command center was in chaos. Impossible, shouted Tail. Scan again. But then the radios crackled. A soft voice whispered across all ships, all channels, a voice that wasn't theirs. A human voice. Laughing. Then it said, "You fired your weapons. But you forgot something. You brought your fears with you." The lights flickered across every ship. And the sky changed. The black flame one by one. The ships turned black. Not from heat. Not from impact. But from inside. Paint peeled. Steel melted. Air turned solid. It was like darkness itself had become fire. Crew screamed. One officer cried, "There's something in the walls." Another fell to his knees and whispered, "My mother is here. I hear her voice." People began running from consoles, from engines, from their own shadows. Some clawed at their own skin. Friendly fire on board the ship's Stormpiercer. The targeting systems failed. They locked onto the other warships. Then fired. 2 vessels exploded, not from enemy action, but from their own allies. Admiral Tail tried to send a retreat signal. The command console melted in his hands. The bridge doors sealed shut. And then he saw the human, not on camera. In person, standing inside the ship. Eyes glowing. Face calm. "You shouldn't have come," the human said. The one that returned, out of the 12 warships, only one came back. The ship. Solar drift was found floating upside down, drifting into deep space. There were no life signs on board. The controls were locked. But gravity was reversed. All the crew were missing. Only one thing was found, scratched into the ship's main hallway with a human fingernail. Still here. Council panicked. The Galactic High Council went into emergency session. Holograms of the destroyed fleet were shown. Kirel sat silently at the side. A new voice, a council elder, spoke with rage. "He didn't attack. Our ships failed on their own." Another said, "He used no weapons, no fleets, just presence." A third said, "Then what is he?" Kirel finally stood. "He is Earth, all of it, all the minds, all the memory." They stared at her. She added, softly, "You sent 12 ships to kill him. He didn't lift a finger. The sky burned. And he just watched." Scene. The ghost ship message back at the deep spaceport. Engineers studied the ghost ship that returned. Every computer was wiped, but one file remained. An image. The Earth, blue, whole beautiful. Below it, a message. "We built this world. With our hands, you burned it with your pride. But we carried it with us." Whispers across the Empire now, everywhere across the Empire. Soldiers see a figure in their dreams. AI refused to attack human symbols. Children hum Earth songs they never learned. The human didn't just survive, he spread, like memory. Like truth, like judgment. Final log. Admiral Tail recovered posthumously. He didn't use guns, he didn't use war, he was war. But worse, he made us destroy ourselves. The hallway smelled like fear, even in full armor. The elite guards were shaking. They were the best, bred for war, trained since birth, loyal beyond reason. But today, they did something they had never done before. They dropped their weapons and whispered. He looked at me. I saw home, then I saw death. Kirill's last hope. Commander Kirell had no choice left. After the fleet burned, after the machines fell silent, after the stations turned cold, she called in the Black Shield Regiment. 20 elite warriors, perfect minds, unshakable loyalty. No fear. Until now. Arrival at Base Theta 4. The human had been seen near base. Theta-4. Not attacking. Not speaking. Just walking. And wherever he walked, systems failed. Minds broke. Time bent. The elite were told one thing: you are the wall that stops him. But as they watched him on the cameras, walking down an empty corridor, they realized something terrible. He didn't need to be stopped, he just needed to be seen. The first to fall, Sergeant Belmer, strongest of the squad, was the first to break. He stood before the human, raised his weapon, and shouted, "Stop right there!" The human looked at him. Belmer froze. Then slowly he fell to his knees and whispered, "He showed me Earth." The others pulled him back. "What did you see?" Belmer cried softly, "I saw my own face, standing in fire. And smiling." Weapon failure. They tried to lock the doors. The doors opened anyway. They activated shield walls. The shields turned around and blocked them. Instead, every step the human took, reality shifted. Lights flickered in patterns, Morse code spelling Earth poems. Gravity failed for 3 seconds. Everyone floated. When gravity returned, one guard had vanished. Only his armor remained, folded like paper. The mindbreak of Tengor was next. He was pure logic, no emotions. Cybernetically enhanced brain. He tried speaking to the human. "What do you want?" The human stopped, looked at him. And replied, "You removed your soul to stop feeling fear. Let me return it." Gore screamed. He fell, clawing at his face, begging for silence. The rest pulled him back. His metal implants were burning hot. Later, he whispered, "He gave me my soul back. And I wish he hadn't." The flower. Then something even stranger happened. The human stopped walking. He knelt down. And placed something on the floor. A flower. A real Earth flower. Blue, fragile, beautiful. No one could explain it. No one knew where it came from. But all 20 soldiers stepped back. As if it was more dangerous than a bomb. Mass retreat. Kirill, watching through the command room, shouted, "Hold the line, he's one man." But none of them listened. One by one, the soldiers dropped their weapons. One said, "He knows my name." Another cried, "He showed me my child, and I don't have one." They weren't being attacked, they were being remembered, and they couldn't handle it. They ran. Every last one. Kirill's rage. She marched down the hall, herself. Alone. Furious. She stopped 5 steps from him. "You made them afraid," she said. "You used tricks." The human looked at her. "No tricks," he said quietly. "Then what did you do?" He paused, then said, "I reminded them what it means to be human, even if they never were." Kirill's vision in that moment, she saw it. Not with her eyes, but in her mind. Earth, cities alive, families smiling. Children learning, skies full of music and warships. Then fire, screams, silence. She saw herself, her own face, watching from the past, and she whispered, "We didn't just destroy your world. We tried to destroy your story." The human's reply. He nodded. "You can break bones. You can glass planets. But you cannot erase memory." He turned and walked away, left her standing. Shaking. Alone. Final message left behind later. When the station was searched, they found something in the hallway. Not a weapon, not a trap, just a simple line written with burned dust on the wall. "No army can stand against its own heart." Final log. Black Shield Commander. "We were trained to face anything. Monsters, fire, death, but not truth. We didn't see a warrior, we saw a mirror, and we ran." The scanners sparked. The room was silent. And the doctor screamed, "The mind scanner, DR." The Lewin had studied thousands of minds, aliens, machines, even clones, but none like this one. The human sat in the chair, eyes closed, heart calm. Straps locked him down. Though he didn't fight. He had allowed it. "I want to understand you," the Lewin had said. And the human simply nodded. So now, deep inside a secret research facility, a machine linked with his brain. The neurocore began reading him, but what it found was not normal memory. It was a storm. First glimpse. The first seconds were peaceful. Images of blue skies. Laughter. Birds. Simple earth. Things. Then came the flood. Thousands of faces, billions of voices. A city being built and destroyed. At the same time, the scanner tried to sort it and failed. Valuan shouted, "Stop the scan, it's too much." But the system locked itself. The human opened his eyes and whispered, "You wanted to see us, then see all of us." Shared madness. The entire research team fell to the floor, not dead, not unconscious, connected. Each one began speaking in different human voices. Old, young, male, female. One spoke in Earth French, another in Swahili, a third in Morse code. They weren't acting, they were channeling something. Valuan screamed, "This isn't one mind, this is millions." Emergency shutdown security ran in. One officer tried to shoot the human. His hand broke before he pulled the trigger. The neurocore began burning. Then the monitors displayed names. Real human names. Each with a date, each with a final word. A technician whispered, "These are the dead, the Earth dead." They weren't memories. They were minds. The ghosts inside of Valuan trembled. "You're not a man." The human looked at her. And said, "I'm not alone. I carry everyone you silenced." She shook her head. "It's impossible." Memory fades. He stood now. The straps melted away. "I was built to remember," he said. "Your empire made sure no one would ever know what you did, so we made sure someone would." The broken machine, the neurocore, shut down forever. No one could reboot it. Its final words were, "I met a world inside one mind. And now, I do not wish to return." Scene. The council learned. Skirrel stood before the council again. They demanded answers. She gave them only one. "He is not a survivor. He is a library made of blood." One council member shouted, "Then erase him." Kirel looked at him coldly. "You tried, and now he remembers you too." The question that changed everything. Valuan, shaken and quiet, asked the human one final question. "Do you feel all of them, all the time?" He nodded. "They're not memories," he said. "They're voices. Dreams, pain, love, all inside me. Doesn't it drive you mad?" His eyes glowed faint blue, and he answered, "It drives you mad. We learn to carry each other." Final scene. The Whisper network across the Empire. Machines connected to data streams began acting strange. They whispered Earth lullabies. They showed images of Earth animals no one had seen in 200 years. And one by one, they repeated the same phrase, "We are not gone. We are just waiting." Final log, Dr. Valuan. "We tried to scan him like a test subject. What we found was not a man. We found everyone we killed. And now they are watching us through him." The lights flickered. The guards refused to move, and Commander Kirel stood alone, waiting for something worse than death. The meeting room. They had brought the human to an empty chamber. No weapons. No restraints. He walked in calmly. Sat down. And waited. Kirel entered slowly. No armor this time. No mask. Only one question burned in her mind. Not how he did all this. Not why he was alive. But something deeper. She stood across from him, looked into his eyes, and asked, "What are you?" A strange answer. The human did not speak right away. He simply looked around the empty room, then said softly, "I was born once, just like you, but you erased us, burned our names. So we made a choice." "What choice?" Kirel asked. "To become something that could never be erased." The legacy program. The room darkened. The walls lit up with ancient files. A digital voice played. "Project Legacy. Active. Memory conversion complete." It was a voice from Earth. The final voice ever recorded. The file showed strange machines, built deep under Earth's surface, just before the Empire's fleet arrived. They were not weapons. They were recorders. Billions of lives. Copied. Stored. Woven together. All minds. All thoughts. All feelings. Placed into one vessel. The human explained. "I am not one man," he said. "I carry them. All of them. The soldiers. The mothers. The children. The heroes, the monsters, the forgotten. Kirel whispered, "That's not possible." But she had seen it. She had felt it in her dreams, in the screams of her soldiers, in the silence of the machines. "You tried to wipe us out," he said. "So I became what could never die." "He doesn't want revenge," she stared, confused. "Then why haven't you destroyed us?" He looked down. "You expect fire, violence, but I don't want your death. Then what do you want?" she asked. He looked at her, not with anger, not with hate, but with something worse. Pity. "I want you to remember. I want you to know what you did, and never forget." The council tries again. News of the meeting spread. The High Council panicked. "Kill him now," they ordered, "before it spreads." But it was too late. AI across the Empire shut down when his name was spoken. Old planets, once under tight control, began hearing Earth voices in their dreams. Statues of forgotten humans rose from the sand. No soldiers carved them. No hands built them. They grew. The words he spoke. Kirel met him again. She sat beside him this time. "You could still destroy us," she said. He nodded. "But I won't." "Why?" He leaned forward, eyes glowing softly, and said, "Because if I destroy you, you'll never feel it." "Feel what?" "The shame.